Very warm welcome to the degree second year students of third semester. So, as you all know, girls, as we are facing an abnormal COVID pandemic situation, we are compelled to meet you this way on the online mode. Otherwise, we would have had very interactive personal kind of sessions in the college. But anyhow, we'll have to move and we'll have to go, and this has become the way of the world now, teaching the online classes. Now, as you all know, your third semester English curriculum is a blending of poetry, prose, drama, as well as grammar. So, let us start on a lighter vein with the poem, a small poem by name Life. The title of the poem is Life. And let us see what goes on with that. As the title indicates, the poem tells us about different facets of life, how we need to cope up with life. See, nowadays, before I start on with this, let me tell you, nowadays you see so many people getting depressed, committing suicides, and doing such kinds of things. These have become normal. So, for no kind of valid reason, people commit suicides and they feel that something very great kind of adversity has come on to them. But that is not the way, and one has to really put up and have the capacity of maintaining the balance in life. And this is what goes on into our poem, Life. It is written by Charlotte Brontë, which is one of the famous writers of Western literature, and we have few of the literary works of her being very popular. Now, as part of the pre-reading activity, that is, these are meant to take you to the poem. What actually is the gist of the poem? Now, let us just have a discussion on the pre-reading activity that is being given here. Can you recall some happy moments of your life and some unhappy ones? Now, as you all know, everyone has got certain happy moments of life as well as some unhappy ones. Can you recall some happy moments as well as some unhappy ones? So, this is all a kind of activity for you so that you can easily understand the poem and you can get into the summary of that. We cannot have only successes in life. Sometimes we have to face disappointments too. What should be our attitude towards failure? Now, we cannot have only successes in life. It is very, very evident that one cannot expect only the success in life. And sometimes we have to face disappointments too. And we need to be ourselves equipped in order to face the disappointments. What should be our attitude towards failure? So, what has to be our attitude towards failure? Whenever we face a kind of failure, what should be our attitude? Should we feel that everything is gone, or should we come back to balance ourselves and feel that this is also a kind of routine that goes on in life? How should we face adversity? And how is it possible for us to face the adversity, dangers? When something unfortunate happens to us, how do we regain our balance? What helps us get our composure back? Now, nobody really welcomes unfortunate things, but some kind of unfortunate things suddenly happen in our lives. At that time, when there are certain unfortunate events occurring in life, how do we regain our balance? That is, our balance gets totally distracted, and we become very, very negative. At that time, what helps us to get our composure back? So at that time, how can we be cool and composed? How can we get back our composure? Life presents both opportunities and challenges. How do you think we should respond to the challenges? So life really presents us the opportunities as well as challenges. Life always gives us opportunities and at the same time challenges. When we are able to utilize the opportunities properly, then we are on the brighter side of life and we are able to face the challenges whenever they come to us. Then we are on the path of the success. How do you think we should respond to the challenges? So, what do you think? How we can prepare ourselves to respond to the challenges? Sometimes we are troubled by negative thoughts and emotions. What should we do to overcome such thoughts and feelings? Sometimes we are troubled by negative thoughts and emotions. Now, it is quite natural for people. We keep telling so many things that we should have the positive attitude and all that. But sometimes it happens that we are troubled by negative thoughts and emotions. What should we do to overcome such thoughts and feelings? What is the good thing that we can do in order to overcome such negative thoughts as well as emotions? How can we overcome such thoughts and feelings? Depression is a common but serious mood disorder. Find out its symptoms, causes, and cures. So now, ultimately, here as part of the pre-reading activity, we are given the sentence that depression is common. That is, nowadays it has become common, but it is a serious kind of mood disorder. We have a kind of disorder in the mind. Find out its symptoms, causes, and cures. What are the symptoms of that? How is the person at the time? And what are the causes? Why the person is disappointed? Why the person is depressed? Let's try to find. And then cures. How best we can cure the person from being depressed? That also we can think of. So students, this is the part of pre-reading activity. In the sense, we come to know that life is not always a bed of roses, and we need to face the challenges. We need to put a break to our negative emotions and feelings, and we need to be positive in our attitude always. That gives us lots of benefits in life. Now let us come to the author. About the author. The name of the author here is Charlotte Brontë, and she was born in the year 1816. And she was a 19th century English writer whose novel Jane Eyre is considered a classic of Western literature. So this woman, Charlotte Brontë, was born in 1816, and her famous literary work is Jane Eyre, and it is considered as one of the classics of Western literature. So it's one of the classics. She was the eldest of the three Brontë sisters, Charlotte, Emily, and Annie, who survived into adulthood and went on to publish novels. So they were all three sisters by name, Charlotte, Emily, and Annie. And our poet Charlotte Brontë was the eldest of the three. She survived into adulthood and went on to publish several famous novels. Charlotte Brontë, like many women writers of her time, originally published her poems and novels under a male pseudonym, Currer Bell. So she did have a pen name, Currer Bell. That was the male pseudonym, and on that name she happened to publish several poems. Now let us come to the poem, the actual part of the poem. About the poem, what does it say? So as I introduced to you already, the poem focuses on the realities of life and reminds us that we have to face moments of joy as well as sorrow, hope as well as despair in life. Now the poem focuses on the realities of life. Remember, it focuses on the realities of life, not the imaginations, not the illusions, but it focuses on the realities. So remember, always realities are not only soft, but they are quite harsh too. So it reminds that we have to face moments of joy as well as sorrow, hope as well as despair in life. We need to face hope, despair, sorrow, all in our lives. However, the poet urges us to have a positive attitude and not be disheartened by temporary setbacks. Now the poet she requests us to have positive attitude, and we should not be depressed at the setbacks which are temporary, they are not permanent. So let us look beyond the immediate disappointments and appreciate the pleasures life has to give us. She says that let us go beyond those immediate disappointments. Let us not think that these disappointments are there forever, but let us move beyond that and appreciate the pleasures life has to give us. So there are certain pleasures also that are being given by life, but we are not really able to identify those as a pleasures, and we just simply overlook, and we miss out a lot on that. She asserts that in the battle between hope and despair, although despair may seem powerful initially, it is hope that will win eventually. So, quite often it appears as if despair is the one which is winning in the life. Despair is the one which is really winning. It is victorious in life. But that is not so. That's only temporary, and ultimately it is only the hope that wins in our lives. Now we'll start the poem Life. So with the background, what Charlotte actually intended it to convey to us. Let us start the poem. Life, believe, is not a dream, so dark as sages say. Now, in the very few initial lines, the poet says, life is not a dream. Let us not consider life as a dream. It's not a dream. As she already tells, she is here to tell us about the realities, but not the imaginations or dreams or the illusions. So let us not think that life is a dream and we just go on casually. But it is not a dream, so dark as sages say. And at the same time, it is not as dark as some sages say. That is, let us not be very serious, very philosophical, or very casual about life. Oft a little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. Oft is Old English word which means often. Oft a little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. A little morning rain, we see a little pleasurable morning rain, foretells a pleasant day. So that is an indication of a pleasant day that is going to happen throughout. Sometimes there are clouds of gloom, but these are transient or. Sometimes there are clouds of gloom. There are some serious things occurring in life. The clouds, which indicate the darkness. Clouds indicate the darkness. Gloom, seriousness, grief. So sometimes there are clouds of gloom. The brightness goes off, and there are clouds of gloom. But these are transient all. So, but these are not always occurring. These are very temporary. And inside they show you the brighter side. And we do have a saying in English. Every cloud has a silver lining. So similarly, these are transient. If the shower will make roses bloom, oh why lament its fall. Now when there is a shower, when there is rain, it will make the roses bloom. Fine, that's a good thing. Something is blossoming, something, the nature becomes very well, the nature becomes very fine, and we are really able to enjoy the nature, what nature has to offer because of the shower. Oh, why lament its fall? So when nature is going to give us such bounty, then why should we lament the fall of rain? Because it also has a positive side. Rapidly, merrily, life's sunny hours flit by. Now, this is a good one that she has given. Rapidly, merrily, life's sunny hours flit by. Sunny hours in the sense bright hours. Bright, and like the good things in life, the brighter side of life, they fly off very rapidly and very merrily, joyfully. Very sunny hours, very bright hours, very happy moments in life. It appears as though the happy moments in life are going away very speedily. We are not really able to enjoy. We feel that, okay, now the happy hour has started in our life. Let us start enjoying. But by the time we feel that let us start, it already goes off, merrily as well as rapidly. So whenever there is a start of the sunny hours, gratefully, cheerily enjoy them as they fly. So very gratefully have the feeling of appreciation, have the feeling of thankfulness. Gratefully, cheerily enjoy them as they fly. So as the sunny hours fly, try to enjoy gratefully, try to enjoy, have the gratefulness in your heart, have the thankfulness in your heart, and cheerily, merrily enjoy that as they fly. What though death at times steps in and calls our best away? So at times we feel that death steps in. One feels that when somebody dear to us passes away, we feel as if there is a big break to the merry flying of our happy moments. At times, death steps in and calls our best away. So, whatever we consider to be the best in our lives, that might be taken away by death. But let us not be unhappy. Let us not be unhappy. That kind of unhappiness is quite natural at the time of death, but at the same time, we should not be carrying the same kind of mood throughout the life. Let us consider that to be a temporary setback and try to come out with a cool composure and try to come out with a positive attitude. What though sorrow seems to win over hope a heavy sway. So sometimes, in spite of telling all these, that hope is great, not the despair, and all these, we feel that sorrow seems to win. Quite often we say, oh, people say so many things, but it is ultimately sorrow that seems to win. And we keep having the hope, we keep being very hopeful. Heavy sway, it is swaying, moving very heavily, as if there is no such kind of power in that, and it is very much burdensome. So sorrow seems to win, and hope a heavy gives over a hope a heavy sway. Yet hope again elastic springs, unconquered though she fell. Now these are the lines which give you a lot of confidence. Yet hope again elastic springs, just like elastic spreads. In that way, the hope springs again. Earlier, it was very burdensome, very heavy. It was just being like that, unable to sway. But now, because it has come down, and again it gets up as elastic springs. It goes on being extended, unconquered though she fell, unconquered. So, in spite of feeling so much heavy, and in spite of being different, remains unconquered. It is not conquered by sorrow. Though she fell, it's true that hope fell down. But again it has come up unconquered. It fell down, but it is not being conquered by sorrow. Again it comes up. Still buoyant are her golden wings. The wings of hope are always golden. Still buoyant. They are very lively still. One may feel, okay, well, where is the hope? Nothing like that. It has fallen down and it is not going to come up. But all such kind of attitude is being driven away. And now we see that still buoyant on her golden wings. The golden wings of hope are still buoyant, very lively, still strong to bear as well. Still they are very, very strong to bear us. They are going to bear us very strongly. Manfully, fearlessly, the day of trial bear. So in a very manful manner, fearlessly, the hope will carry us. The day of trial bear. So whenever there is a day of trial in our lives, you are unable to decide this or that, you are unable to go forward, you are unable to move forward, then that will also take you to the trial and it will bear you to the trial and then make you come out successfully. For gloriously, victoriously can courage quell despair. For gloriously, victoriously, courage quell despair. So once we have the courage in our minds, it will really quell our despair. It will take out the despair in our mind. And ultimately we emerge victorious in our lives. So students, the objective of the poet here is to build up confidence in you and also to tell you that you should not feel depressed or disappointed at some temporary setbacks that occur quite naturally in everyone's lives. But try to maintain the balance, try to have the positive attitude, and that will eventually, the hope that you carry in your mind will eventually take you to glory and make you victorious. So always don't leave the courage, have the positive attitude, and try to overcome the negative emotions in life. Thank you very much. I think you have received it well. Thank you.